The Minnesota Vikings made a statement against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, obviously, a lot of people are running with this narrative, but I don't think a lot of people are considering the entire fact of this whole thing, because coming into the season, everybody and their mama had the Vikings finishing 4-13, 3-14. There was even an article put out by ESPN saying that they were going to, somehow the Vikings were going to end up with the first overall pick in 2025. I've heard a lot of things, but with how this team has responded, specifically under Kevin O'Connell, and with how this team has come, how far this team has come, I think that this win against the 49ers on Sunday, 23-17, I believe was the final score, it signifies so much more for this team. Because you're doing it with Sam Darnold, who is playing very well right now, completing over 70% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, over 480 yards passing, only 2 picks, one of which is really only his fault. The second one against Fred Warner was rough. But this team is making a statement right now because it's got a defense that originally started out as the 30th ranked defense last year before Brian Flores came in, jumped to middle of the pack, and now is playing lights out with arguably one of the better young linebacker duos in Ivan Pace Jr. as well as Blake Cashman. You got a D-line that is getting it done right now with 11 sacks so far to start out the season. Patrick Jones has 4 of them. You've got also Andrew Van Ginkel, who's got a couple. You've got an entire defensive line that is just so deep. It's making a lot of plays. And you got a secondary that, it's got a Hall of Famer in Harrison Smith. You've got Cameron Bynum, who just seems to be everywhere at the same time. And as a whole, this defense is making it really tough on opposing quarterbacks. So, and I'm not trying to get too ahead of ourselves here, because we did also see what Josh Dobbs did last year with the Vikings, the excitement he created, and how the wheels kind of fell off the whole thing at the end. But I'm excited. I think that if the Vikings can continue to replicate these performances where their defense goes out and makes plays, they run the ball effectively, and then just have Sam Darnold do what he needs to do, I think this is a recipe for success. And I think that this not only makes the Vikings contenders, I think that they could win a lot of games with this formula, especially this season where obviously J.J. McCarthy is out and everything. And they're doing it without arguably some of their best players. T.J. Hawkinson, who's arguably one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Also, you've got Dalton Reisner, who would immediately solve that interior offensive line problem for the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, and your number 2 pass catcher, it's like a 1B, and Jordan Addison is probably going to miss the next couple of weeks. But you've had really good stand-up performances by guys like Jalen Naylor. Brandon Powell looked really good. And honestly, you've even got some really good play from Josh Oliver as of late. So for what it's looking like right now, the Minnesota Vikings are taking care of business, and I don't think it should come as nearly as any of a shock to anybody. And I think that this is only just a sign of what's to come, because this could be a very, very special team when everything is said and done. But at the end of the day, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. Are the Minnesota Vikings making a statement, and are they playoff contenders? Thanks for watching.